At 27, I was thrilled about a romantic getaway I had planned with my girlfriend, 25F, whom I had been dating for 3 years. We were heading to a secluded cabin in the woods, hoping to strengthen our bond away from the hustle of daily life. Everything seemed perfect, or so I thought. Our journey to the cabin was filled with laughter and plans of exploring the nearby trails. The cabin itself was cozy, offering the retreat I had envisioned. As we unpacked, I couldn't shake the feeling of excitement, imagining this trip as a pivotal moment in our relationship. However, upon arrival, I noticed she seemed distant. Her phone was practically glued to her hand, and she kept stepping outside to take calls. She looked distracted, her laughter forced, and I couldn't help but feel a pang of suspicion. Yet, I brushed it off, convincing myself I was overthinking and determined to enjoy the getaway. Things took an odd turn when I ran into our neighbor, 28M, from our apartment complex. He was at the same cabin location, claiming it was a coincidence. I was surprised, but didn't read much into it beyond the peculiarity of the encounter. His presence was unsettling, but I focused on making the most of our getaway. Late one night, I awoke to find my girlfriend missing from the bed. Panic set in, and I hurried outside, calling her name. My heart raced as I heard familiar voices coming from the neighbor's cabin. As I approached, my stomach churned at the sight before me. Through the window, I saw her in an intimate situation with our neighbor. I felt a whirlwind of betrayal and disbelief, but managed to quietly retreat without being noticed. Back at our cabin, I struggled to process the scene. She returned shortly after, acting as though everything was normal. As she entered, I confronted her directly, recounting what I had witnessed. Her face turned pale, caught off guard. Initially, she tried denying it, but faced with undeniable evidence, she admitted to the affair. Her reasons were vague and infuriating, only fueling my outrage. Unable to stay another moment, I decided to cut the trip short. I packed my belongings in silence, leaving the cabin without a word. As I drove back, a mix of anger and disbelief clouded my thoughts. The trust we had built over years was shattered in a weekend that was supposed to be romantic. Once home, I ended the relationship immediately. I struggled to comprehend the betrayal, grappling with the absurdity of it all. Seeking advice and support, I turned to Reddit, still in shock over the events that transpired during what was supposed to be a romantic getaway. I learned harsh lessons about trust and the red flags I ignored, left wondering how I could have been so blind to what was unfolding right in front of me.